So I'm Alastair, and I'm a Canadian as well as a Brit, and grew up in Canada, worked in banking and consulting to global banks. And
My name's Wesley, and I'm a former American living in Portugal. I've been here 5 years. I was born in California, lived 20 plus years in Atlanta before moving here, and I was in the technology sector. For me, it was the climate, the culture, the historic nature of Portugal as a whole, and the people. I thought that when we came on several times on vacation, the people were extremely welcoming and generous, and a place I could see myself living for the rest of my life.
for me, I think it was that it was Europe, that it was a safe place in Europe to be. I always knew I wanted to live in Europe, and so took out my British passport back in the 80s, and this was an opportunity, but lots of different places to look at.
Ease of entry, location, climate, and I'm happy that it all kind of worked out.
And healthcare here is a lot like what I experienced back in Canada. It's so the public system here and the public system in Canada were largely highly comparable, and the private system here, to me, was less stressful than the private system that I experienced when I lived for 10 years in the U.S.
From an American perspective, healthcare here is far easier and more accommodating than the American system. So I'm grateful for the Portuguese healthcare system as a whole.
There are lots of different groups here that you can participate in. There's, out where we live, there's Queer Cascais, there's all sorts of, groups. There are some gay-focused bars here in Lisbon, but I think it's a surprise to lots of people that there isn't as big a culture of specific bars and restaurants, and that kind of isn't the vibe here. The vibe here is that as long as you are sort of polite with the country and respect the country, you're welcome. Just, I don't know, you might have.
I feel extremely included in every aspect of Portuguese culture. I've never felt discriminated against here. Checks all the boxes for us we're close enough to Lisbon via a 30-minute train ride, so we have the best of both worlds.
Natural trails. Just outside of our house actually is a valley that runs for about 8 kilometers, and it goes up into the hills towards Sintra and out towards the dunes that are by Guincho Beach. To Lisbon, like you were saying, that there is everything that you would want. We've gone to Shakespeare in a park here in Lisbon, right? We've gone to other things that are in Portuguese. So you can kind of dabble in a lot of areas. We have been to Fado many times.
The wine, absolutely. I compare all wines with Portuguese wine now. Wherever I am, if I'm in Italy or France, I always come back like, is this better than a Portuguese wine?
The wines they're delicious, and they are affordable. And we have some friends that are well acquainted with Côte de Provence rosés, and they're surprised that you can get as good rosés here.
We both do. I absolutely do. We took Portuguese lessons through the government, through the high school, and that would get you an A1 and A2 level certificate for the citizenship requirement. And so, I plan to take that again just to reinforce my Portuguese again. And I think it's one of those things that the Portuguese government offers to expats at a very low cost, and it's a great way to learn Portuguese, and it just kind of solidifies, makes you part of the culture and part of the civilization, speaking their language.
If you're in any town of any size, I don't think you have to speak Portuguese to get by. I think you would miss a lot, particularly in the Algarve, in the Lisbon out to Cascais area, the Porto area. I saw some stats recently that Portugal is the country next after the Nordic countries for the proportion of people that are fluent in English. Yeah, so some of the things that I do being retired is, you pick up a new hobby kind of thing. So photography, and the country is diverse. So taking out the camera, walking, and I focus not so much on the big pictures, but on daily life kind of photos and things that are quite close up. And so Portugal has been really good for that. Reading a little bit in Portuguese, trying to get more connected into the arts scene here. Both music is easy, the harder one is theater, and have just dabbled a toe in that. But for us, for now, big travel has been a big deal, and Lisbon is quite well connected and becoming better connected internationally. And then at some point, we'll focus more on just travel within Portugal. But it's easy, you hop on the train, and a few hours later, you're in Coimbra, or you're in Vivre or something.
I do a lot of reading. I'm an avid reader. I'm writing a novel, so I'm a writer, attempting to. And we stay active, take a lot of walks. We take a long walk every single day, trying to stay as active as possible as long as we can.